Hello and welcome back to the Get a Student Life podcast, where we talk about all things student life at Boise State. I'm your host, Molly Ballison, and today I'm joined with Hannah Melton and Jada Johnstone. So thank you gals for being on the podcast today. And they're both involved in the theater, film, and creative writing department. So I'm excited to hear your stories and how you're involved in that department. But first, the question of the day is, if you could be famous for one thing, what would it be? I'd love to hear from both of you.
Thanks for having us, first of all.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to be like the person who spoke the most languages in the world. I think that'd be awesome.
Do you speak any other languages currently?
I speak French fairly, I would say, like at a intermediate to advanced level, but not quite fluent, but yeah.
Okay. Are there other languages that you want to learn?
I would love to learn like Spanish and Italian, and
Ooh, me too.
I would love to learn German, and I would like to learn some Japanese, but the new alphabet sometimes is a little, or alphabet, I guess in quotes, is a little intimidating sometimes.
Mhm.
But yes, I would love
bet.
to try to learn as many as I can.
Oh, very cool, Hannah. I like it.
Yeah.
And what about you, Jada?
I think I would like to be famous for, I would say definitely, I'm really big into immersive entertainment, so I think I would like to be famous for doing like a super ambitious show. Like I would like to do something groundbreaking, something that nobody's ever seen. Maybe it's, like there are people who do the multi-day experiences now. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe it's something even longer. I don't know. Like I think I just want to do a production that's just really cool and really unheard of. I think that's what I want to be famous for.
Yeah, something
answer.
way out there that hasn't been done before. That would be awesome. And
Yeah.
very in line with your line of work, too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thanks for sharing. And also, if I could be famous for anything,
Yeah.
probably be writing the most books. So hopefully I have time to start that goal.
Cool.
a
I
good
think
one.
someone asked me this recently, and the first thing that popped to my mind was, they asked if you could be the best at anything in the world, what would it be? And I was like,
Ooh.
writing. So if I
Nice.
could be famous for anything, writing probably.
That's a good one.
Yes. So I'd love to know what brought you both to Boise State.
Do you want me to go first?
I don't care.
Okay, I'll go first. So my journey to Boise State, well, of course, I'm not from the U.S. I'm from Trinidad. And, for me, I have family who moved here, and so I grew up coming to Boise all the time. And so that's how I learned about Boise State. And I also learned about Boise State's, theater, film, and creative writing department, and also their degree in narrative arts, which is what I ended up doing. And I wanted to study here at Boise State because that's not really a program that I can do at home. We don't really have a whole lot of programs like that. So getting to come here and do such a unique program, that was a really big opportunity for me.
Yeah, totally. And so cool of you to come all the way to little Boise, Idaho, to pursue something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And you mentioned narrative arts. Could you explain a little bit about what that looks like?
Yeah, so the narrative arts degree is one that's offered by Boise State through the Department of TFCW. And it's essentially a degree where I like to call it Creative Writing Plus,
Okay,
where you do a lot of the standard creative writing classes you would do if you were doing a creative writing degree, but then on top of that, you also get to do film classes and theater classes. And you can kind of customize it how you want, where you can take as many film as you want or take as many theater as you want, or if you want to do a nice, healthy balance of all three, you can. That's what I did personally. So, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And so the show you were describing earlier of doing something very out there, does that fall in line with narrative arts, or how do those work together?
Absolutely. I mean, immersive is something where you kind of need to be versed in all different forms. Like, you need to be able to write, you need to be able to know how filming works, you need to be able to know how theater works. That's probably the biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, like, I would love to do a show that incorporates everything that I've learned. It's, that's definitely like what I want to do.
Yeah. So if I were to go sit in it, I've never been to an immersive show, so to speak. So if I were to go sit in on one, what would that look like, and what should I expect?
Oh, oh boy. See, immersive is a very broad realm, but like in the interest of time, I will, I'll boil this down. it can look a little different depending on the show that you're in. You know, some shows might be a little bit more technology based. It might be something where maybe it's on your phone and it's, you know, and you're like interacting with the world around you. Maybe it's a scavenger hunt. But then sometimes you can have shows where it's a little bit more live action, where maybe it's more you're in the center of a story. So you might, you know, be in this brand new place and there's set all around you and there are actors all around you, and maybe they'll interact with you, maybe they won't. Like maybe you're just there to watch what they're doing, walk around this world, or maybe a character might take you by the hand and say, hey, come with me.
Oh, very cool. So it could look like a lot of different things, whether it's technical or audience interaction.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a whole spectrum.
Oh, very cool. So that actually makes me remember I was in an interactive show in so I've danced for a long time. So when I was younger, the dancers went into the aisles in the auditorium, and kind of we weren't supposed to like interact with the audience, but I did almost fall on somebody because they were tilted. But so I guess that's pretty interactive.
Yeah, hey, that works.
Yeah, but that'd be awesome category. Yeah, totally. So it'd be awesome to see you do something like that, especially at Boise State. So yeah, thanks for sharing. So Hannah, what brought you to Boise State?
Well, I wanted to be a performer, and I knew I needed a degree in general just to be able to explore other areas. So I got my associate's degree at North Idaho College in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, about 8 hours north of here. I went to acting school for a couple years in New York and loved it, thought it was a blast. But as soon as I started auditioning, about like 8 months into auditioning, I was like, you know what, this is... Even though I had some success here and there and a lot more vocal than acting, but even though I had some success, I didn't love it. I didn't love the world. I didn't love I guess my schedule. I loved the world, obviously, but just the schedule and the job description anymore. I think in the real world, I really wanted to be on the other side of the table, make some decisions. I saw a lot of my, I guess, type A qualities it could be really valuable in different areas than the performer. And though I like to perform, I found more passion than I ever had for acting in the other side of the business world of the arts. So I came back to Coeur d'Alene to save some money, and then was planning to go to a university that like specialized in management and things like that. And when COVID hit, I was excited to see that the program at Boise State kind of helped me foster that type of environment as well. And so I was really excited to have that opportunity where I could still be close to family and go to school and still be able to study what I wanted to study.
Absolutely. I resonate with that too, because I'm also from North Idaho. We live like 30-ish minutes away. But what a cool journey for you to, go across the other side of the country to New York and pursue what you love, but also realize like that you can still do what you love, but in a different way that's more suited to your personality, your skills. It
was nice to find that out so young instead of put all that effort in and then decide I wanted to change course. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm glad you made it to Boise State.
Thanks, me too.
Yeah,
love it here.
And so since coming to Boise State and then being involved in the theater, film, creative writing department, have you been able to use those skills and your type A personality, like you mentioned, in that department? Can you explain what you do?
Sure. So I'm a senior. I graduate in May of 2024. And
exciting.
Thank you. And I've been able to carve out opportunities within the requirements of the theater minor and the arts entrepreneurship minor to be able to work on things like finance and marketing and discover different areas where I might fit a little bit better. And so what I'm able to do right now is work on the social media marketing and the merchandise areas, and I can help with getting more people to have the experience of viewing all of the things that the theater, film, and creative writing students are working on, and being able then to have more awareness of the program, more involvement throughout the school and in the community, and be able to help them get, in general, more funding for the arts in a public education forum and sector, which I feel really passionate about. So I'm able to work with Jada on the social media page, and Boise State TFCW, go follow. But yeah, so I can help her with that, and I help run the front of house, which means the person who lets you into the theater and helps train the ushers, and I sell the merchandise that we have to help out the students in the set design and the scholarships and where the money goes to that. And yeah, I help make sure, credit cards aren't left in a seat when people leave and all that fun stuff. So I get to be involved and seeing all the people who come into the theater.
Yeah, that's quite a few important responsibilities. So you kind of do a lot of different things.
It's nice to be able to explore all the areas before I leave school to know which ladder I want to climb.
Totally. That's a smart way to go. So Jada, what is your job within this department, and how are you connected with what Hannah's doing?
Right, yeah. So I am a department intern for TFCW. So essentially what that is that I help with various creative projects around campus. So pretty much anybody who has something lying around that maybe they need help with, maybe they need an extra pair of hands on, I come in and I help out with that. For an example, I do a lot of stuff with the film department. They always have something that needs editing, and I like video editing, thankfully. So I tend to, get called in quite a bit to be like, hey, can you come edit this video for us? And I just hand it off to them. But yeah, and I mean, I also get to carve out my own projects that I want to work on, things that will benefit me from a career path perspective. Right now I'm working with the Stein Luminary to create an immersive show, like we were talking about earlier.
Cool.
So that's been really cool. And that's a collaborative project with TFCW, where we're bringing in creative writing students, theatre students, and film students to work on that project.
Okay.
So yeah, and the way that I'm connected to what Hannah's talking about, I mean, obviously, we're both content creators for the Boise State TFCW account. So I get to go to a lot of the campus events that TFCW puts on, and I get to sort of take pictures and post stuff on the Instagram stories going like, hey, check out this event, or like, look at this event that just happened tonight. And yeah, and so that's pretty much how we're connected.
Okay, gotcha. So there's some overlap.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned the Stein Luminary. For those of us who don't know what that is, can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so the Stein Luminary is an interactive and immersive installation over in the Center for the Visual Arts, just over by the Morrison Center. And yeah, it's this room with projected visuals and touch-sensitive screens, and you can interact with it. They have a whole database of arts and culture. Yeah, it's really cool. And it's free. Like, it's free to go and check it out. So definitely please go see it.
So can students just walk in there, or is it if there is a show happening then?
Yeah, so they're open to the public Tuesdays through Fridays, I think from like 10. I know they're open at 10, and I think they close at 5. I'm not sure though. Oops, I'm sorry. But yeah, but I know that they're open to the public Tuesdays through Fridays. Sometimes there might be a class that's booked out the space, but generally, yeah, you can walk in anytime and go just check it out.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I have walked past it not knowing what it was or how to, like, is it okay to go in there? But I'd love to hear how your immersive show develops, and when that comes about, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah. So you mentioned you're wanting to get students more involved in this department, especially with you guys tackling all these different kinds of jobs. And so what is something that you wish students knew about the TFCW department?
I want to remind everybody that all students, faculty, and staff, pretty much anyone with a Boise State student ID, gets a free ticket into any event, theater, film, creative writing, and you can go participate or go experience or go watch a theater show or a production that's being put on, and it's such a good opportunity. It's always fun. You get to support fellow students, and I think that I don't see why not, I think it's always fun to go see something. And I also want to remind people, and I hope everybody knows, that it's not only theater majors or film majors or narrative arts majors, creative writing people who can participate in all of this stuff. I think it's a great opportunity for any college student to learn different areas, or where they might be able to apply their, economics degree in a different sector or a different area, and something that supports the arts. And you can learn something brand new. That's what we're paying for. That's what we're getting, that's the experience that we're all hoping for at a college. And so anybody can participate in the theater program specifically, and then I'll turn it over to Jada for some film and creative writing opportunities. But there is the Theater Masters Association,
Theater Makers.
Theater Makers. Oh, they just changed the name. Excuse me. It used to be Theater Majors, but now it's Theater Makers. Oh, okay. Thank you. No worries. Theater Makers Association, and that is not just, they changed the name because people, I think, were assuming that it's only theater majors who can be involved, and it really isn't. They put on a new workshop for anyone who wants to learn a different method. You were saying dance. They had the tap workshop recently. Fun. And coming up they have a new workshop in different areas where you can learn, like tech or different things, and they also have an opportunity coming up as well that shows up every once in a while, where they have like a cabaret or a little concert where you can just audition to go have fun and have an impromptu concert. So those are some opportunities for the theater department specifically, and kind of TFCW wide. What about for film and creative writing?
Yeah, film and creative writing also has a lot going on too. With creative writing specifically, we have the MFA reading series, which happens all the time. We have a lot of really great authors and poets who Boise State brings down just to do readings. They usually happen on Fridays in the Hemingway Center. We tend to post about it on our account when they happen. But yeah, we've had who have we had? We've had Christina Pina, we've had Peter Gizzi, we've had Andrew Ewell, we've had a lot of really cool people, really big names come through. And yeah, so and those are also, those are free events. You don't even have to get a ticket for those. You can just show up, grab a seat, and sit down and just enjoy it. And then we have Film does a similar thing. They have their film speaker series where they bring in, showrunners, people who have written for TV shows, directors. They'll come in and they'll talk a little bit about what it's like working in the film industry, which is really cool. It's a really great opportunity to learn more from someone who's in that world. We had someone just the other day who is a writer for WWE, actually. That was a really cool one to hear him talk about that. And again, also free. And then besides the on-campus events, we have student organizations like how theater has TMA. Film has the Boise State Cinema Club. If you want to get together with some students, talk about movies, talk about what interests you, and then even I think the Cinema Club also sometimes will. You know what? I'm not going to say that because I can't verify what I'm about to say.
Okay.
Scratch that. So, you have the Cinema Club where you could talk about movies, or, creative writing. They just started a literary translation society, which is really cool because it's solely focused on translating poems, translating literary work. And, you don't even have to know a second language to be in that club. You can just come in, you can just learn how to translate things, and you can listen to other students' translation work. They do workshops, they get to talk about, different pieces, different authors. It's a really cool opportunity.
Yeah, that's so interesting. It sounds like there's a lot of clubs, even outside of the theater, film, creative writing department and the different shows that they have. Also, you mentioned the MFA readings. Is that an opportunity for students to come in and read their work too, or is that just you finding other people that are well known to?
Yeah, so the MFA readings tend to be more established authors coming in. However, there are occasionally opportunities where they will do student readings. They do. I know the students who are in the creative writing MFA, they tend to do readings quite often, where those students get to show off some of their work, and then sometimes they will do undergrad readings as well. Those tend to be a little bit more sporadic. So those ones when they come up, like you'll see posters and stuff advertising that. But yeah, those tend to happen every once in a while as well.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, so there's plenty of opportunities for students to get involved, and especially with, I mean, free tickets to shows. I mean, even if you're bored and have nothing to do, like, might as well, because it's a free show or whatever it is.
But also, I mean, like, Boise State theater productions are fantastic. I mean,
yes,
these are like every single show that I've seen from the theater department, it's all like Broadway caliber. Like, just like, we have some really talented students, some really talented crew, like really talented set designers. Like, all of these shows have so much love and effort put into them.
Yeah. What have been some of your favorite shows that you've either been involved in or seen put on?
Ooh, let's see. Most recently, I just saw Wolf Girl, which was actually an original show by one of our theater professors, Heidi Cray, who I actually took quite a few classes with, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, that was a fantastic show. They had a really cool set. It spun, and it just it was a forest, and they moved it in a way to make it look
Neat.
like people were walking through it. It was really cool. And then yeah, I mean, like, I'm personally really biased. I was in the SpongeBob musical when they did that at the Morrison Center.
I went to that one. That was so fun. Yeah.
It was a fun show to be in. But like, just like, I mean, honestly, just watching scenes from the wings of that show, like, that was such an incredible piece to be in.
Wait, what was your role in that show?
I was in the ensemble.
Oh, okay, so fun. So fun.
I really loved the Charlie, goodness. I can't think. Charlie Brown.
Charlie
It is
Brown?
Charlie.
Was
Okay.
it Charlie Brown?
Charlie
Yeah.
Brown Christmas.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to that
Charlie
so bad, but I
and
was busy.
The costumes were identical to the comic and the movies that we grew up loving, and it was the Christmas story, like, that we watched and loved, and I just had a blast watching everybody and the choreography, but like more of the movement techniques that they used to walk and stand like a comic character. It was amazing.
That's interesting.
And I mean, you just see the costume and you're like, I remember that person.
I've only ever auditioned for dance performances, but never anything acting wise. If students are wanting to get involved in theater but don't really know how to, or think that they need to have experience, like, what would you tell them for what to expect from an audition, and what advice would you give?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, I think we could probably tag team this one, because I think
Sure.
we both have experience with this. But yeah, I would say definitely, I'll speak from my experience of, like, you know, being a narrative arts major, and like, even though I took theater classes, I wasn't a theater major. So I when I auditioned for SpongeBob, I was very afraid that I was not gonna get in. I was like, no, for sure, they're not gonna let me into this. But honestly, they're really nice people. Like, they will consider everyone. Like, they're not gonna pass someone up just because they're not a theater major. And honestly, I mean, like, the best thing you want to do, like, when you audition for a show is just have fun. You know, just be yourself. Don't be too afraid if, you know, like, let's say, like, we get to the callback day and you're doing a dance call and you're not getting the steps. Like, don't worry, because everybody's at different levels and they're not expecting everybody to be professional. So it's this sort of thing where, you know, like, if you mess up a couple times during the audition, they're going to be nice about it.
Yeah.
They're going to be forgiving, and they'll even give you a second chance if you want a second chance.
Oh, that's awesome to know.
I think that's a great advice. I would add that a few things. The people who are running the audition have all auditioned themselves, and they all have known how it goes and how nerves can affect performance, and they all are assuming that you're showing up how you woke up today, and that doesn't always mean that you're going to be perfect. And so they want authenticity. They don't want to hire somebody who is a, you know, perfect recording artist or perfect monologuer. They want somebody who's real and that the audience can connect with. So this is such a weird metaphor, but how I say it is, first of all, they're always on your team. They're never hoping that you're doing that. They never hope that you're going to do poorly. They always are on your team and rooting for you. But the metaphor I was going to mention is you might be the best blueberry in the entire world, and they might be making peach cobbler, and you can go in there and be the best blueberry you can be, but there's it is not ever worth it to go and try to be a peach instead of a blueberry, because you're just you and you're going to do the best you can, and maybe the next production they're making a fruit salad or a blueberry cobbler or a blueberry pie or whatever, and then you're going to be perfect for that, and you can still be involved. You can still be involved in so many ways even if you don't get in. And honestly, out of a lot of the theater companies I've worked with or been a part of, this one in the Boise State area, I've seen more support than any other place I've ever worked or gone to school or been a part of. It is so encouraging. And yeah, I just wanted to remind people that this is supposed to be fun. This when it all comes down to it, we're singing and dancing with our friends, like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's really, yeah, like, I think that people, it just have a blast. And I think that's the most important part, I think, when it comes, like, to auditioning. It's such an art, when, with all the rules and things like that, but all in all, it's fun. So don't forget that, like, you're doing this because you love the arts.
Yeah,
if you decide to audition, yeah.
And that's a sweet analogy. So if you're a blueberry, still be a blueberry. Don't try to be a peach.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and remember why you're doing it too.
Right.
Well, thank you guys for sharing your advice and your sweet memories of performing and how you're involved in the theater film creative writing department. I hope you continue to get more students involved. So to students listening, remember that you can attend Boise State shows for free and find out other opportunities to get involved by following at Boise State TFCW. Boise State at TFCW. Don't forget to like this video and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes with all the exciting guests we have coming up. We love hearing your stories and perspectives, so if you have one to share or you know of someone who you think would make a great guest on the podcast, reach out to us via the Student Life website, email studentlife@boisestate.edu, or DM us on Instagram. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Boise State Student Life. Thanks for listening. Now go get a student life.